Good morning, everyone. Please feel free to turn on your cameras. As I mentioned yesterday, we figured out a way to spotlight the person on video so that everyone can remain on camera. So if you feel comfortable doing that, please do that. We are about to get started. Ava, Amber, Amanda, and Christina. We are an extra woman up today, so we're at I think that's 4 or 5 members of our team today. Please go ahead and keep letting people in as they arrive. All right, so let's jump right in. Good morning and welcome to day 5 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica. Today we'll be covering mass collaboration and machine learning. So our question of the day, before I go over our morning affirmations and inspirations, is to have you think about whose work you can't live without. So we're looking to hear about your Black academic scholastic crush. Whose work can you not live without? I'd encourage folks to not only look in the United States, but also look abroad. We've been a little domestic in some of our inspiration in the morning in our questions. And with our speaker from Ghana today, I'd encourage you to think internationally. My person is decidedly domestic at Harvard University and splits time between the political science department, the computer science department, and recently the Kennedy School of Government. That would be the illustrious LaTanya Sweeney. I've had the chance to tell her how much I admire her work in person. If you don't know who she is, you should know. So please drop that in the chat box along with your humble brags. So again, I want to remind you this morning to be who you are, and as you are enough. You have everything that you need to be successful in this space. The questions that you have are valid, and you should bring those to the table. We're excited to hear some new voices today, hoping some of you who might have felt a little shy might be think about asking some questions at lunchtime for our lunchtime speaker. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, your biological, technological, emotional, spiritual needs. If you need to eat, please do that. I will occasionally chew on camera and definitely a whole lot of other stuff. So, you know, we're here living. All of us are invited into each other's homes in a way that's sort of unprecedented. So take the time you need, take breaks if you need them. Remember that everyone here is a student, no matter what your title is, whether you have a business card or you don't, everyone is a student here and learning. Make sure you set your personal intention for the day. Start thinking about what you want to learn, who you want to be, what you want to accomplish, spaces where you might want to step up, spaces where you might want to step back. Just know that you know, we're providing a whole lot of information, and I don't think it's humanly possible for anyone to take everything in. So please, you know, set your intention and decide what you want to get from today. So our something I want to share with you all for today, our moment of inspiration before our speaker joins us. That would be Terry Adams, Professor Terry Adams today from Howard Sociology Department will join us for a bit of inspiration in a little bit. So I want to tell you all that I attended a wonderful workshop by the New York Academy of Arts and Sciences my first semester called The Humble PhD and Postdoc. It's an early career workshop. And if you have not been to their workshop, you should. If you have the chance to bring them to your campus, you should do that. They try and help you to learn and recognize sort of common mistakes that often derail the career paths of students and postdocs. So these common mistakes often include things like poor time management, failing to reward accomplishments. I'll say that again, failing to reward accomplishments, succumbing to pessimism, and not taking risks. So by recognizing these mistakes, the plan is that you will learn to maximize your potential, increase your career prospects early on. So that workshop has helped to define my time as an academic, my still burgeoning time as an academic. I'm a PhD candidate. And again, bring them to your school or attend the workshop if they offer it. So that semester, when I went to that, which is my first semester, my happy folder was born. So at the end of every semester, I have collected either in print or drag and dropped into emails or folder a list of things that I have accomplished, small or large, the tiniest bit of positive feedback from an advisor, big things, little things, things that make me laugh. And the benefit for me of doing that in a folder form is that at the end of the semester I can legitimately see, like I'm acting like it's this big. I can legitimately see what I've accomplished. And over the course of the year and years, I now have a large folder. So, if I'm having a bad day, I can pause and go take a look at that folder and remember that I am worthy and that I am putting in the work. So I encourage you, if you don't have a happy folder, or if you have not taken the time to take stock in who you were at the beginning of the week and how much has changed, to take a moment and please do that. All right, so we're going to take a look at our Keep, Start, Stop today. Thank you all for filling that out. So Amber, if you could go ahead and screen share for us for today's Keep, Start, Stop. Fantastic. Thank you, thank you. So for keeps, you ask for keep the group work coming, small group activities are informative and the right amount of challenge, keep everything, data sets that spark conversations specifically about race and inclusivity, morning motivation and pep talks, mixing up the groups, affirmations, and good vibes. Thank you, we will keep that up. Things you want us to start. Having the TAs join the groups. So we mentioned this yesterday, because we have sort of a limited number of TAs, we want to make sure they're available to everyone. So we try and leave them in one room, but if there's more than one TA, you're welcome to head to the room and ask them to come to your room. They can do that. If they have difficulty, we can help them do that also. But if there are more than one TA in the room, they can make the rounds. But and please feel free to exercise leadership and ask them to come see you. An intentional break time for chatting, hobbies, etc., to get to know each other outside of our context. Absolutely. So we have 5 hangout rooms set up. Again, exercise leadership. Please feel free to write the entire group on Slack or on chat and say, hey, everyone want to get together and talk about this. I'd love to hear everybody's hobbies. We have those rooms set up so that you are able to do that, to set up time to connect. We also we can add time in the evenings for that, but we try very hard to give you back your day and your time relatively early, so you have time for family and other work. But if that's something that the group is interested in, we can add on additional time in the evening in order to do that. Next week, a lot more flexibility. So I suspect we'll have lots of time for folks to organize around interesting topics too. Someone said they want to talk about food during their breaks. If anyone's interested, love it. Okay. Can we carve out some time for folks to think about funded projects they're interested in working on? Absolutely. So again, we've got those hangout rooms. You'll also have time for that on Monday. So we're going to do an exercise with you all to help you get to know your overlapping research interests with folks. So that we want to make sure you're not just limited to who you've met already, because obviously we've been trying to get you to meet everyone, but not possible at this point. So we're going to do an exercise to help you figure out who everyone is in the room that has overlap with your research interests. And then you'll have a good amount of time to spend to talk to folks and figure out if there are one or maybe more than one project you want to join and work on over the next week. And we will culminate, this will all be explained next week, with your ability to apply for funding on our final day together. So that will happen. So you have all of next week for a lot of that stuff. We really, truly want you to take the weekend off. You've worked very hard, so we'll start that in earnest on Monday. So pre-Juneteenth dance party. Okay, all right. I heard dance party yesterday from somebody right before they exited, and I see that again today. So folks want to turn up. Okay, let me think about that a little bit. See what we can do. Or maybe we can try and squeeze something into a break, or think more thoughtfully about that. Let me see what magic we're able to pull off, given the timing. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Stop being this awesome, JK, haha, as the kids say, joking, haha. Nothing to stop, really, can't stop, won't stop, I love that. Thank you for the Diddy reference there. Whoever threw that in there for me, thank you. That speaks to my old heart. All right, anything else? So we've got keep up the positive energy. It's a really greatly appreciated dance party when we start and end the day, with videos on if possible. Would love some help with that. If anybody knows how to do that, happy to do that. I think we can screen share and have the music going, but we usually start up and try and jump in to save you time and get you through this 15 minutes pretty quickly. But if somebody wants to help us with that, we're happy to do that. Please reach out, DM me, or email me. I wish we had been able to jump straight into R for today. I enjoyed the survey building exercise, but I would have liked to spend more time working with the programming in the end. Absolutely. Thank you. We received that, and that's something we'll think about for next year. We'd also encourage you, remember, we've got those 9 to 10 a.m. Our office hours, and also at lunchtime. And if we hear that people want more of that, that's something that we can continue. So let us know at your week ending, keep, start, stop, anything else. If there are things that you want for next week, like I said, ask and you shall receive. I've got like a whole box of puppies over here. No one's asked me for a puppy. So let us know. Okay, let's see. You are incredible. Oh, thank you. Aw, amazing, inspiring, brilliant, and so much more. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially on a Friday, I need to hear that. I'm being held together by chicken wire and sparkles right now. I'm just propped up in this chair. These days are so exhausting, but I love this community so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for saying that. You know, my main goal in founding this community was to make it more inclusive, warm, welcoming, and one where we could thrive. So the fact that y'all are feeling that is just, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It's a bit late for this, but it would be good if during the debrief of each day, we quickly review the activities for the next day. Oh, I hear you. That's a great idea. There are a lot of relevant learning materials for each day, and be more efficient with our preparation time. It would be good to know what information to focus on, depending on our background with R versus methodological concepts. So we try and prioritize never, I'm saying never, but we definitely do go over on time. Not going over on time, not sort of weighing you down at the end of the day, but it's something that I think is very valuable for us to know going forward, even if it just adds a couple extra minutes to do that. As you know, this is a flipped classroom, so the expectation was you will have reviewed all the materials in advance, and that would have included our website, but let's all be honest, it's a pandemic and we're all busy. So that is definitely something we will consider next year, is making sure we give people a heads up and spotlight and highlight things that they should pay attention to. I think that's it's a great idea. Thank you. All right, so let's head back to our housekeeping items for this morning. So that's our keep, start, stop. So I'm going to review the schedule. But before I do that, I just want to shout out our lunchtime leads for FactSpace West Africa and FakeNet AI today. That's Yandu, Maxine, Kimberly, Richmond, Ebony, Jeremy, and Benjamin, our largest number total. Super excited. As you noticed, the expectations for you to arrive with a question or two, and we'll sort of make the rounds. It's been going really great so far, so thank you everyone for your participation. If you're feeling a little shy about asking questions, I know some of our question askers yesterday were trying to get other folks to ask some of the questions that they had. So the more voices, the better. I know our audience after this fact will appreciate hearing other voices besides mine. So please don't be shy. Every question I think has been great so far. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's go over the schedule. Amber, can you screen share for us? And we have a little bit of time. We're gonna, the next 15 minutes after this, we're gonna walk through the exercise. So if we go over a little bit, we should be okay. Okay, let's see. So our schedule for the day, Thursday. Oh, sorry, it is not Thursday, it is Friday. Okay, so thank you those of you who came this morning from 9 to 10 for our Python and Stata office hours. We had our logistics from 10 to 10:15. Got about a minute to finish that. 10:30 to 11:30, you'll be starting to participate in the Fragile Families Challenge, which is happening across all sites right now that are happening this week. So all over the world. And we'll also have content-specific office hours on mass collaboration and machine learning during that time. So please remember to visit our TAs so they do not get lonely. They are, again, if there's more than one person in the room, they're happy to come and visit with you. If they have any difficulty doing that, please come see us and we'll help them do that. From 11:30 to 12, you have a break. We will remind you, but feel free as you need them and as your group agrees to them to take breaks that you need within that 10:30 to 12 o'clock time. 12 to 1 is our bite-sized lunchtime talk with FactSpace West Africa and FakeNet AI. Also at that time, there will be additional R and Python office hours. Stata is a typo there. So at lunchtime from 12 to 1, we have R and Python. Stata is not available at lunchtime. 1 to 1:15, you have a break. Then you will come back from 1:15 to 3 o'clock and continue participating in the Fragile Families Challenge activity. Again, there will also be content-specific office hours during that time as well. We'll have a break from 3 to 3:15. We'll come back for our usual end of the day debrief. There won't be much for me to say, sadly, about what's going to happen on Saturday, because I won't see you all on Saturday. It's very sad. So hopefully you'll all have a nice weekend, and we'll very short debrief. After that, whole group debrief, and then my debrief, and then we'll finish by having you delete the Fragile Families data from your computer. We'll go over that in a minute with the exercise, why that's important. It connects with some of the ethical issues that we discussed on our first day and that have weaved their ways through our entire time together. And then finally, 4 to 5, we have some final data assurance checks. So I apologize, we're going a little bit later on Friday, but there are a few things that we need to do in order to close out the week and get Matt and Chris appropriate feedback in order to get things lined up for next week. So there are just some basic data elements we need to check from all of you. Some of you have gotten our surveys filled out, others haven't had a chance yet. So we need to collect some of that survey information and make sure we're up to date on your research interests and such to get you all set up for our activity on Monday to help you figure out who you want to work with. So that is our schedule. All right, let's see. All right, so we're going to discuss looking at the calendar. Is Terry here with us? So I do not see our inspirational speaker this morning. So sadly, y'all have to just go with what I shared earlier. So if she joins us a little bit late, we will we'll spotlight her. But Professor Terry Adams is the amazing chair of the sociology department at Howard, and just has been a beacon and an inspiration for me, and is just a kind and wonderful person and an exceptional scholar. You received her book, one of her books, in your swag bag. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see her sometime next week. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, so let's jump into the exercise. So on our website for today, there's a link to slides and a video. We're a flipped model, so by now you should have reviewed the video, but it's not very long of a video where Matt explains this challenge. But I will go over the participant instructions for today, so you know kind of what's coming and our schedule for the day. We're also going to ask, before I do that you check your email right now and make sure you've received an email from the email address that is in our chat box. So I believe that everybody signed up for data. As long as at least one person in every group has it, we're fine. But we'd appreciate if everyone had access to it, just to walk through pre-processing and such together. But please make sure that you received an email from them. It could be in your spam folder. If you have not received that email, please respond to the chat box, and Amanda will work on getting you access. So please check your email and make sure you've received, I think it's a security ops, something like that, email from Princeton. Please make sure you check your email, okay? All right, so let's walk through the lesson plan. So I'm just reading what you're going to see in a minute. So if you're still trying to figure that out, don't worry, you won't miss anything. So for this activity, which was prepared by Emily Cantrell and Matt Salgonic, Emily is one of the TAs from Princeton. Again, you know, SICSS loves it when we create new materials. So in addition to sort of funded research projects, think about that. If you think there's a great activity that could be a complement, especially for our site, we're looking for ways to make our site more robust. And also, you know, this year we followed along with activities related to the main site, but we could do similar activities with other data sets and things like that for what our interests are, right? So think about that. And if there are activities you might want to found, come reach out to me and let's talk about that. I would love for some activities to come out of our session. So in this activity, you'll take part in a simulated Fragile Families Challenge. You'll use the Fragile Families and Child Wellbeing Study data collected from child's birth to age 9 to predict 6 outcomes at child age 15. Number 1, we're looking at child grade point average, GPA, 2, child grit, 3, household eviction, 4, household material hardship, 5, caregiver layoff, and 6, caregiver participation in job training. The learning objectives for today are to practice converting raw data to a suitable format. So there's a benefit to everyone having access to the data, so you can all do this. Practice creating machine learning for predictive modeling. If that term scares you, just know we've spread out those with experience with predictive modeling across all of our groups, and our TAs are also professionals in this space. So if your group, you're looking around and you're like, anybody know what that means? Go to the TA room and see them, okay? Experience the common task method. So you learned about that in Matt's textbook, so you'll be doing that also. So preparation. So well in advance of the activity, you'll need to apply for data access. You've all done that. Your locations organizers will provide a deadline. We did that. And then there's an explanation of how to apply for access. So all of you have done that. So prior to today, you should have received an email from Emily. If you did not, don't worry. I just got mine this morning. They misspelled my name. They also misspelled Amanda's name. So if you did not get an email, it's probably a slight mistake, and we can get that too, so don't worry about it. So once you get that, once that comes through from the secure send system, you'll be able to make an account to download it. It will walk you through the steps. Then you'll download the zip data folder. And to open the zip data folder, you'll need a password that we will give you. So if we have that password available, please go ahead and add that to the chat box, Amanda. If we have not, once we get you to your groups, you will have that. I'm pretty sure, yes, we have the password. It is. I don't know why I said that out loud on this recorded line, which will be posted publicly. But yes, the password is okay. After that, we recommend that you rewatch Matt's video if you've not watched it, where he introduces the activity, which will be posted on it's posted on the curriculum section of the SICSS website, but it's also linked to our site. Thank you. Ava has said she can edit out the password. I'm sure they'll change it next year. One would think that they would change the password. So there are two data sets you need. There is the data set from Fragile Families, and then you're also getting a data set from Emily at the SICSS Princeton site that has already been pre-processed. So you need both of those data sets. So if you just have the one from that one site, you need to sign up and get the second one. So a brief note on ethics, and I mentioned this. I alluded that that's going to play a major part in our work here. So this is a mass collaboration exercise, and that involves the Fragile Families and Child Wellbeing Study, and it's a data set, please remember, of real people who have selflessly opened up their lives to us for the last 15 years, so their experiences can contribute to scientific research. So by participating in this challenge, the Fragile Families Challenge, you become a collaborator in this project. And what that means is it's of the utmost importance that you respect the families in the data set by using what they have told us responsibly. So we talk a little bit about that, but we want to make sure that you are not trying to re-identify anyone and that you do not share the data. If you notice on our schedule, we ask that you delete the data at the end. So you can always go back and download it again. You have access, and if you've noticed, you have access to a lot of data sets now on that portal, but we ask that you do not keep it on your personal computer. Computers get lost, things get hacked. Berkeley, well, the UC system can tell you that the entire UC system was hacked this year. Shout out to UC and Berkeley. So, we want to make sure that's not on your computer. So please, at the end of the day, please, pretty please with cherries on top, delete the data. And we will check in with you on that also. So a rough schedule of our time together. We will spend an hour preparing a data file for analysis. You'll take a break after that. If you're not happy with your prepared data file, we got you. We recommend using the clean data file that were provided in the folder we emailed you. So we want you to try preparing the data. It's an important exercise, but if you don't get to where you need to be, you can always go up and switch over to the other data set, which has been prepared for you. So this will allow you to proceed to the next step, which is, I don't want to say pre-processing isn't fun, but the next step is actually quite a bit of fun. So the 2 hours in the afternoon, let's see. So we have a question, and Amanda, can you note that, and I'll answer that at the end. 2 hours in the afternoon. In groups, you'll build a predictive model and submit it to the submission site. Do not expect to try many different sophisticated models in the time available. A good approach, a simple approach, would be to focus on just one outcome and interest and try models of increasing complexity after successfully submitting a basic linear model to the leaderboard. So then we'll do a whole group debrief at the end of the day. You should be able to see updates on how you're doing across all sites on the leaderboard in real time, which is a whole lot of fun. So make sure you leave yourself enough time to submit your stuff to leaderboard. And again, deleting the files after use, and I think this goes to Todd's question. If it does not, drop it in the chat box again. But at the end of the activity, delete the data files. It's important that the data not sit on a local machine unnecessarily. If you would like access to the data for future research, you can just go and download the data at any time from the OPR data archive. You have that access. Princeton has provided that to all sites. You have that access. Okay, so delete the data file that we have prepared for you. And if you've downloaded any data from OPR, please delete that as well. So there's a list of resources on your sheet. I'm not going to review that in the interest of time. So there's a list of resources, and including how to submit to the leaderboard. There's blog posts, all sorts of stuff, videos, published paper, special collection on SICSS in which participants talk about this. We've had numerous publications on the Fragile Families Challenge that have come out of our sites. I'm hoping we see one from our side here at Howard that raises and elevates issues of importance to us. So we have a focus on anti-Black racism and inequity, but you are welcome to focus on whatever you'd like. So I just want to acknowledge that, you know, we did not create this activity. There are a number of people that created this activity who are listed on the sheet. And again, I would encourage you to think about how we might want to adjust or this activity for the Howard site for next year. You know, what might we want to focus on for this and any other activities. So I'd love to see some of these from us next year. All right, so so that introduces our activity. Let's see. And if anyone has any questions or challenges with gaining access to the data, once we send you to your room, if you click on the Get Help button, one of us will come and visit with your group to make sure you get help, okay? Also want to note, name our TAs for today. So we had Matan, Nadia, Amy, Peter, Emma, Hayawete, Carrie, Phil, Amy, and Peter. So you'll notice we've got some MVP, a lot of people who've been with us a few times. Please make sure you thank them. I'd also encourage you, if you have not signed up for 90 Seconds of Fame with us yet, we'd love to get a video about your experience and shout you out on social. We may even tell your school that you're here and be like, hey, UVA, for Todd and Meredith. Did you know these peeps are here and they're doing great things? So please go ahead and send us, come to our the 90 Seconds of Fame room for us if you have time. So we're going to drop the groups in the chat box today. We're trying to be a little bit more international today, and also in honor of our speaker later, who is from Ghana. And I recently found out the provost at Howard is from Ghana. All of our rooms are the names of Ghanaian foods. So we've got room Fufu, room, and I may pronounce this right, Wakye, Jollof rice, red, Kelewele, Tuozafi, Banku, and Shoko. So those are our rooms for the day. So we're going to drop those in the chat box. And I believe we've gotten everybody broken up. So we've got 2 minutes. I want to make sure that if there are any questions that cross the entire group, that everyone gets to hear them before we open up the rooms for you to head to. Are there any questions, or does anybody not have access to the data or anything like that? I have not looked at the chat box, but please go ahead and unmute and let us know if you have questions. Thank you, Marissa.
Yes, I've been kind of putting the chat back just to make sure I'm clear. So I know we applied for the data.
Yes.
And I did receive the email from Princeton. And I remember earlier you said that there is the file that we are to practice cleaning, and then there's also the data that are already clean.
Yes.
That is all zipped in the zip file, that we don't have to go find the raw data at the place we actually applied for it.
Great question. So where you applied for it, you actually have to click on Fragile Families data set there.
Okay, where you apply, I have to go find it. So can we have a link there? Because I'm having trouble remembering the website for where we submitted the application.
So Amanda, can you please drop the link? And we'll also put the full directions in case you need them in Slack. So once you gain access to OCR, you have to click on Fragile Families. Again, you'll note there's like 20 or 30 other data sets there that you can access. You want to click on that. And that's the raw data. And then you also, after you do that, you should get an email from Security Ops at Princeton, and they should give you access and a folder for the prepared data. And you need to enter our password. Oh, it also contains raw data. Thank you, Ava. Ava said there's also raw data in the folder. So when you click in OCR and Fragile Families, it lets them know that they're supposed to send you the folder with both the raw data and the prepared data. So it's a, yes. So as long as, Yeah, so as long as you have gone into OCR and clicked on fragile families and hit, which I didn't do the first time, and I've done this twice, so it's not, if you struggle a little bit here, you're in good company. Those are the 2 steps you need to take. Thank you, Marissa, for asking for that. Oh, do you have more questions? Yep.
Yes, follow-up questions. So I'm looking at the folder trying to see what data I have, and they're given names that I'm sure are very specific, but without background, I don't know what each data file means, and there's a few folders. Is there a key so that we know which data?
How many folders are you seeing?
So when I unzipped it with the password, I have there in that one folder, there are 3 subfolders. There's example _ prepared, example _ submission, and then FF challenge _ V5. So I'm not sure which one is the raw data, which are the clean data. Just to
so
make sure
I have learned as an academic not to guess. So Amanda,
Yes.
can you please go ahead and send a quick note on Slack to Emily and double check? They didn't provide the key the other day. Oh, someone said there's a README text in there. Thank you, Regina. So there's a README folder in there, file in there, which probably explains what each of those are.
Okay.
Thank you, Regina. Shout out to Berkeley. It says this folder contains 3 subfolders and it explains what they all are. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Check your email too, Regina. I sent you a couple of opportunities at Berkeley that I came across. You too, Ben. Any other questions before we send you to your rooms for the day? Go forth and be prodigious. All the rooms are open. Go learn about your Ghanaian foods that I just butchered the pronunciation of. Call us if you need us and make sure you see the TAs. They don't let them be lonely. See them early and often. I am starting to see people fabulous populate the rooms. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Regina. Winky face back to you too, Ben. Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.